What's going on, guys? It is not Nosh. It's not Josh here. It is Jacob from the Batting Practice Podcast. And we are here recording on a Tuesday. Why am I introducing? Why is this on YouTube? Why am I asking so many questions 10 seconds in? That's because we have a lot of things here to discuss, a lot of different vibes here going on for this episode. And I guess I mean, before we get into things, Andrew, how are you doing tonight? How'd I do? Was that all right? Did I forget something? Did I miss anything in the intro? Did I?
I think
I
your
put
intro is
I
great.
put too much pressure on myself.
I don't know how much pressure you put on
Rocking
yourself,
the
to be honest.
Barcelona.
Uh, but no, you did great. As you can see,
I
Josh
take
or
it.
here, Josh is not with us. I'm wearing up north Wisconsin shirt in
Hey,
his honor.
there you
Um,
go.
I saw that and I was like, I have to wear this. I Jacob can attest. I don't normally like look this disheveled. It's you're
You
usually just
see my
catching
hair?
me. You're usually just catching me at the end of the day, and like most of the time, I like just I'm getting home from the gym just before this, and I'm just getting ready again. But Jacob, we were on a we were talking earlier today. He saw me wearing normal clothes. To be fair, that is I think I've worn the Charlotte FC jersey on multiple podcasts. So I don't know what I'm even saying. I've just looked like this all the time. Um, but things are good in Chicago. The
Heyo.
Cubs. I think I told you this in a couple podcasts ago. The Cubs somehow are irrelevant again. Um, I think the
Oof.
city seems excited. We'll see how things keep going. I went to the Cubs Sox game with work last week. And that was but I saw the Sox win. Um, and my gosh, we got to see Cody Bellinger almost hit a home run, and one of my friends had some money that he would hit a home run that game. Did not cash, nor did his bet the Cubs would win. Did
Made
not
it to the warning
cash.
track, man.
He went home a sad guy. I told him
Oof.
he should have just bought Sorare cards. What
There
is he
you
doing?
go.
Throwing his money away.
He should have just bought So Rare cards and used our So Rare sign up link down in the description below, where you can get a free limited card if you buy 5 limited cards off of the market. Heyo. Um, So Rare, dude. How'd you do this past weekend?
It's been a big weekend for my gallery. I've been kind of repositioning some of my cards. And again, like I think, this is just kind of like I think it's good for everyone to kind of check in on like, how their gallery is doing, whether, and one thing I think that is responsible, and I've heard it from some other podcasters of just, taking a look at how much you have personally invested within So Rare and just kind of making sure that that is money that you can't afford to lose. And I think when I did first join the kind of platform, like I think I was always like looking at it from like an ROI sense. And now that we're coming up on 3 years in to the process, I don't it's become more of a game to me, which has honestly made it more fun. Like it's just less of like I used to look at, Soware almost like a stock, or I think I got it right around the time of like the NFT boom, and it was just like, okay, like can this number keep going higher, and just chasing that feeling, and not really caring how I got there, whether it was just like my cards doubling or because I was actually good at the game. Um, but I think like now, like I get excited when my lineups are doing well. And I'm thinking about just like the cool cards I can win. Not necessarily just like, the dollars associated with that. So I always think it's good just to kind of check in with yourself and your gallery and just kind of see like, is this money? And again, like because it's a game, like investments, you hope that they never go south or go under, even though they do. But I would say a game probably has a higher probability to go under or to go down in value. So again, I think just kind of a PSA. Take a look at your gallery. Just make sure it's set up right for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Personally, I won a single card this past weekend, a
Woo.
tier 5 rare. And in back-to-back week forms. Last week, I won a duplicate Dansby Swanson limited card. This week, I won a duplicate relief pitcher Trevor Richards for your Blue Jays. So 2 for 2 back-to-back weeks. I got duplicate cards.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Collection bonus RIP, but
Yeah.
they are both listed on the market. In fact, Dansby's already gone. Sorry, Dansby. Yeah. So that's what happened to me. And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You win, I mean, not to be braggadocious here, but you win a decent amount of Sawyer awards. Have you gotten any duplicates this year?
Oh yeah. Lots of duplicates. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe it's just anecdotally, maybe it's biased, frequency bias, seeing it between you, me, like Nellis layered on Twitter. There have been a lot of duplicates in baseball.
Yeah. And part of
maybe,
it, I
maybe
think,
not. I don't know.
well, it comes down to kind of what you talked about before with the whole unique thing. Like, there's just only so many players.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are a ton of baseball players, but what we see with uniques is like there's not that many unique players to put it that way. And I think what also I believe is factual is the rate that tier 5s and tier 4s are given away are higher than tier 1. So for example, like I think if we look at let's see here, if I go Jordan Alvarez, he currently has, okay, this is on sale. He has 330 limiteds available. Tier 5, should we look at our boy Chris Flexen? Although he was hurt. So we need someone that's
he
been
was hurt.
Up in the league for a while that would have been active. But is maybe, let's look up Brent Suter.
I was gonna hit
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a great.
I was gonna say catcher, but yeah, that'll do too.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. So we saw Jordan had 332. Brent Suter had 354.
Okay.
So slightly more. Do you have a better name that I could look up?
For like a tier 5-ish. I was thinking
tier
like
5, tier 4.
Stay with the Brewers, Carantini, like a catcher.
Yes. Let's see, because I know they do stop minting when a player is hurt. Yeah, so Caratini 377.
Yeah.
So you can just see like, and I think that the difference of 330 versus 377 is just the difference that 440 more Caratinis have probably been rewarded than Jordan Alvarez's. So that is one. So again, coming back to the point, you're more likely to get a Caratini duplicate than you are a Jordan Alvarez. And so if they gave away every card equally, then there probably wouldn't be as many duplicates. But because of the nature of just like their reward pools, I think, baseball's probably more unique in that sense, since there's just not that many players.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not one to complain. I will sell it and be happy and take I'll reinvest it. Take my ETH, reinvest it. But we are more than 10 minutes now into the podcast, and we haven't answered the original question. Why are we on YouTube? Why are we not on Spotify? I mean, we will be on Spotify, but why are we exclusively on YouTube for the first bit? And that's because we are not foregoing, but we are postponing our year-long 50-second episode. Can you believe it? This is actually technically our 52nd episode. How about that? But our actual celebration of the year will be next week when Josh is back in town. So today we're doing a little YouTube special. And along with our little YouTube special, sounds like a South Park episode, we are going to be doing our giveaway. Finally, our giveaway that we have been counting up over and over and over the past few months and adding up our awards due to our giveaway wheel on our podcast. Again, check out the podcast if you haven't yet, in the description below, because if you're new to this channel and haven't watched or haven't listened to our podcast yet on Spotify, we have 51 of them. a year's supply of them. You got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
So yes. So let's do our little giveaway here. No, well, we're not giving it away. We will be giving it away next week on our year-long special back on Spotify. We will be giving it away live or not.
Whoa.
Not like we're streaming it live, but while we're recording, we'll be
Whoa.
giving it away. Imagine that. We also might be having a few beverages. I don't know if that's allowed streaming live.
I think so.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. It's beside the point. Giveaway.
Yeah.
So couple of rules here. Number one is you must be subscribed to YouTube. So YouTube's going to be like our main go-to for highlights from our podcast, as well as shorts that you won't even see at all on the podcast. So some exclusive content here for Sora and other baseball related things. But also got to be following us on Twitter. That's just so we can DM you and give our card away and stuff like that. Literally can't DM you if you're not following us. So that is a recommendation kind of by default. And third, but finally, but not least, third, last, but not least. That's what I'm trying to say. We want you guys to comment down below. It doesn't have to be your favorite So Rare card, just your favorite MLB player. Can be of all time. It can be this year to watch. It could be from your So Rare card. It could be one that you became a fan of because of So Rare. So whatever. So that's comment that along with your Twitter username, and then obviously following us on Twitter, subscribe to us here on YouTube, and YouTube only exclusive giveaway because this
Well,
podcast won't be up before we do the giveaway on Spotify. How about that? So there we go. How about that?
we did it.
We're here on
Special.
YouTube, and that's why next week's gonna be real special. Next week's gonna be awesome. But this week's awesome too, because we still have a main topic. We're still doing a podcast, a cast, a day cast, a night cast. And it has to do with recent current events here, but it's essentially we're going to be talking about depth of your teams in So Rare and what to do if your player gets hurt or suspended. And in light of recent things, we're going to be starting off with like simple one game suspensions in baseball, or maybe like a red card suspension in football, like a one game sort of thing, like a double yellow, I guess. As a straight red, I feel like you get suspended for like 2 or 3. I could be wrong with that, but anyways,
Depends on
beside
the
the point.
league.
Yeah, and we're gonna be doing that up to like a 10-day IL sort of thing, maybe to like a half season, all the way up into who knows, sort of like an indefinite sort of thing. So yeah, let's dig right into it. Unless you got anything else to say about our YouTube exclusive here, our YouTube special.
No, let's go.
Hit that YouTube special, that subscribe button. Oh, like and subscribe. That's the thing we have to say on YouTube. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. So to kind of get us started, I think obviously Jacob kind of covered it, and we're going to try to talk across all of the so. Honestly, I think the approach is pretty much the same. Let me just make sure my audio, for some reason, okay, there we go. My Zoom decided to tell me something that
Yeah,
was
it
unhelpful.
quit out for a second. I was like, oh, I thought your internet, like,
Well, we hope
no,
not.
we're good.
But we're good. We're back. But yes, we're going to talk through all the sports, and again, starting with those like smaller suspensions. I think it matters most, obviously, in football, since there's only one game per game week. So if your guy's out, that's a 0. You don't want that. You could theoretically be saved in basketball. Basketball is probably the best one, maybe because it's best ball. So if your guy is out, but he has 2 other chances to play, you still, might. So I'd say, in ranking, soccer is the worst. Baseball is the second worst since it's cumulative. So even if you play 3 games, you miss 1, you still have 2, but you don't get all the benefit of a 3. Whereas if you played somebody that played all 3 games, you probably would score better. And then basketball is probably the least impacted if it's just a single game, since you probably, assuming that there's 2 other games, they'll probably put up at least their L15 or L10. But yeah, anything you'd add there? I don't think single games are particularly that interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's pretty straightforward when it comes to single games. You're not gonna be selling your player on Sorare if they get suspended or hurt for a single game. You definitely don't need to panic if you accidentally play them and they don't play and it's only a single game thing. Like you said, in basketball, especially if they miss a game, but they have a 3 game week and they play another game, if they put up a good score, like that DNP is completely irrelevant. It's out the window. Um, Baseball, if they missed a game in a game week, but then like Jose Ramirez, for example,
Yep.
just got suspended 1 game after getting his suspension appealed first and then reduced to 1 game for his I don't know, UFC style right hook to the left temple of Tim Anderson. That was crazy. Man, I like best baseball punch I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Uh
Agreed.
like I at least yeah, I think that was better than Odor versus Bautista because Odor went for him. Like Bautista was kind of
Mm,
just standing there. These guys are already squared up,
yeah.
and Anderson kind of initiated it too.
Oh,
So
he instigated it
yeah, yeah,
100%.
oh
Yeah.
totally. So, anyways, don't need to panic sell your JRs, your Jose Ramirez's just because of that. And even in soccer, if you knew they had a red card, throw them in that training, throw them in that academy, or don't at all. Just leave them sitting out because you don't want that DMP obviously in your
No.
lineup. It's going to kill your lineup. But if you didn't know beforehand, still not a reason to panic sell or anything.
No.
Now, let's say your player got injured or suspended for a little while. Um, 10 game
Ooh.
suspensions aren't really a thing in baseball. I feel like if you did something real bad, like if you threw at someone's face a few times, you might hit like 7, like a week's worth max.
Yeah.
Um, Not a thing in soccer at all, really. NBA, again, you got to do something real dumb. So, I mean, we're going to assume more of like an injury based thing, like a 10-day IL.
Mm,
You might be missing 2 weeks of games, maybe a month of games, even. This is where it gets a little more difficult. This is where it's more of depending on the type of player that got hurt. And this is where we start talking about depth and who you
yep.
have as backup in your teams. And I guess since we are an MLB podcast, we can focus here on MLB. 7 positions. MLB needs the most cards. So you need to buy the most cards in
True.
order to field the team. That doesn't mean it's going to be the most expensive, but uh what about you? Have you dealt with any lingering injuries this year in any of your teams that you can remember? Maybe
Yeah.
not like a crazy season long injury, but just like an annoying. I know one for me comes to mind in Pete Alonso.
Yep.
Was hurt for. Did he get hit on the wrist?
I
I think he
believe so.
got
I think I
hit.
saw the
Yeah,
live.
wasn't a break or anything, but he was out for a bit
Oh,
and definitely struggled for a bit when he came back too.
yeah.
But personally, what I did with his card is I didn't play it for a bit, put it in training.
Yep.
And once he was back, I put him back in. Took him a bit to get back, so I threw him back in training for a few more weeks. And once he got back to his normal home run hitting ways, then I started playing him again. Again, didn't really panic sell or anything crazy
Yeah.
like that. So I don't know. Did you have any, or what? I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
what about NBA? Yeah,
No,
who were
oh
you
my God.
thinking?
Okay.
Who are you
So
thinking?
I'm just looking at my gallery now. I put the
Oh,
sword
okay,
on.
okay, okay.
Okay, I mean, I could just go. I'm going literally going
Oh
down
no,
the
it's
list.
everyone.
I mean, yeah,
Okay, okay,
Alonzo, like you said, Liam Hendricks. Shout
okay.
out to him for beating cancer.
Yeah, and
Um,
then immediately needing surgery after.
right, right. And then oh my gosh. I have a Brandon Woodruff. Let's see, a Carlos Rodon. He's been hurt for a minute. Jordan Romano was on the IL for some time. I think Miles Michaelos was also on the
Yep.
IL too.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, like as I look through my gallery, there are few people that have actually played the entire MLB season. That I just like I think I would have to like I think it actually would be harder for me to say, yep, this guy played 162 games this year, didn't miss any games other than maybe an occasional rest day. Um, yeah, I mean, I have Tatis that I won,
Yeah.
as he was kind of
He
coming
was
back.
hurt
So
for a bit,
it's
right?
and Brian Hayes.
Yep.
Again, it's just you could go we could rattle off all these names, but to me, it underscores the hope is that again, like Jacob said, baseball requires the most cards, so you theoretically need a minimum of seven cards of the same scarcity, or seven cards period to play. But realistically, you probably need at least 10.
Hmm.
Seven is if you like are you're willing to maybe have a DNP, or you're maybe saying like, hey, I'm going to start with these seven, and then if somebody gets hurt, then I'll buy another one and I'll add depth that way. I think that's fine if you like. You don't like the 10 card approach to me is like preventative depth. That was a
Oh
bad
no.
Freudian slip right
Freudian
there.
slip,
Um,
preventative death.
Preventative death. But no, so I think like again, you could start with 10, and then that way you have your backups. Advantages of that, you could train those extra three players and boost them up over time. Disadvantage of that obviously is you're kind of guessing at what positions you might need.
You gotta buy
Whereas
three more players too.
right, and yeah, it
Yeah.
obviously costs more money. So if you bought a middle infielder, corner infielder, and a relief pitcher, but your starting pitcher goes down. Oh, that's another thing to add. You probably need at least two starters
Yep.
because your starter is only going to pitch once per week, and game weeks run twice per week. So you're going to need somebody that starts on the weekend, and then if you're lucky, you need like someone that has a perfectly mirrored start schedule. But that's probably very hard to come by unless you maybe have two relievers from the same team that are spaced enough apart. But even then, it can get dicey. So you're probably, from a pitching standpoint, you need at least probably three starting pitchers. So we're already up to 9 cards right there. And that's before you've added like real depth of
Right.
like
Right.
backups that you need. So
Right.
you do like even without injuries or suspensions, just the amount of cards is more than the number of uh, players needed per lineup.
Hmm. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's not a problem. It's just something to consider about, especially if you're starting a team, is like I wouldn't necessarily, if you have a limited amount of money and you wanted to go with that 10 player basis, but you want to have a set starting seven, I would still try and budget your set money on that starting seven,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe try and work your way up towards a few more, like maybe miss a few game weeks or play Sandlot or something. But it's also funny in baseball, the one where we were saying like there's the most cards. I feel like depth is actually also the most important.
Yeah, I don't know. It's important across the board. It's
So so hear me out here. In football, in soccer, if you have your starting five, if your goalie's a 100% starter and everyone else is a 90 plus, you don't need any other cards than that.
So let me tell you. So you're absolutely right. However, if you read the soccer medium, they're adding a fitness bonus. So again, I think they're so yeah. I don't know if you saw this. So let me
I don't
educate you
read. I
for.
can't read.
Okay. So again, I think this is still relevant for the MLB crowd because again, I think generally probably what they do on basketball and football will probably get rolled onto baseball eventually. Hopefully, again, like we talked about last week, the speed that they do that increases, and that MLB doesn't feel left behind. In this case, honestly, I hope they don't. They take their time with this one. So how this is going to work, or we don't, as of recording on August 21st, we don't officially know exactly the mechanics of it, but it's exactly your point, Jacob, where if you play those starting five and they're healthy and they're going out every game, they have a fitness bonus that will go down every game week from, I believe that starts at 10% and then it loses some amount per game. And the only way to accrue that back is if you either rest them or buy a boost to return them to full fitness. So they're
Do they
trying to.
rest? Do you have to train them to rest them, or do they rest
We
just by not playing? Oh, we don't know yet.
that piece we don't know,
This is
but the
like
whole.
FIFA. All right,
But
okay.
it definitely
It's
is.
straight up.
So there are a lot of mechanics that I think Sorare as a company is doing to basically prevent you from just buying five or buying seven for baseball, rolling them out every single week and just saying like, give me money, give me cards. Because that's not fun. So we saw that with like the collection game where you get rewarded if you have a lot of players from the same team. This fitness bonus thing is going to prevent you from using the same 5 or 7 cards every game week. So this whole idea of like, they're just, again, for Sorare company perspective, depth just means more money. Because
Right.
if there's two ways that Sorare can grow, one is the number of people playing, the other is the number of cards owned per person. And I think they're obviously trying to do both. But in soccer, or specifically, they've been really trying to grow the number of required cards. And I think once this fitness drops, it's going to be, you're going to need probably 5, 6, 7 cards to compete. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it ends up working,
yeah,
because like, also in theory, if you have a team that plays weekend games for the most
yep.
part, couldn't you train them during the week and then play them on the
We don't
weekend?
know that. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know that.
so this is a up in the air thing that I actually wasn't 100% certain about. So I would still say, as of the rules in this day moment when we're recording, that soccer depth is the least important, as long as you have a good team, especially since goalies are so much
True.
percentage of a soccer team's budget, that having a backup goalie, is so much more of a hit to your budget than having like a backup pitcher in
Yep.
baseball. I would also argue very similar things for NBA. We'll see if they do anything depth wise for that. But if you have your MVP for champion
Mm,
and 4 other starters like that hit about that cap but don't go over it, you'll be good. Obviously, if your team's playing well, though, it will go over that cap. So you're
yep.
going to need depth in NBA no matter what at some point, or you're not going to
Right.
win. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I would say it's close between NBA and baseball for me. NBA, you're going to need it eventually, but like it's so dependent on that cap mode. Whereas baseball, it's really more. I mean, there's way more games played. There's more cards you need in your lineup.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these short-term injuries, especially, I would say having depth in baseball. Yeah, it's got to be baseball.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I feel like it's kind of subjective. Honestly, I would actually take the opposite. I think baseball, you need the least depth. Now, and that would completely change if they introduced a cap mode.
If they did a
I,
cap mode, yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
if a cap without if we assume that there is a cap mode, yeah, I don't exactly know. I could hear arguments for all of it, but again, like if I guess if you just played All-Star Limited in soccer, you could just roll the same 5 cards every single game
Hmm.
week. The same way you could theoretically do that in Sorare MLB, and then it's just a matter of like, oh yeah, this guy got hurt, or but yeah, it's I would say you're right. I think basketball needs the most depth just simply
Yeah.
because there is no uncapped mode.
Hmm.
And that if you buy 5 and they do well, then unfortunately you're not gonna be able to play all five.
Yeah,
So
I
then you're
mean,
gonna need to get a sixth.
maybe you'll win a reward that you can use to bring that cap back down. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess to clarify, yeah, I mean, baseball and basketball, that depth is important. Football, soccer, we will see. But it's got me interested. It's got me very interested. Moving on here, we have a couple specific scenarios. This was before So Rare Baseball actually came out, but longer term
Mm.
suspensions and or injuries. Before So Rare, I am losing it.
I said death.
We've been talking a lot today.
I said death, and I
Death,
mean,
yeah,
you're yeah,
impending death or whatever, preventing
yeah.
death.
Liquid death.
Um,
Shout out.
Liquid death. Yeah, dude, I could use a sparkling water right now. I need one. Um, So Rare MLB was not out last year at the beginning of the year, and Fernando Tatis Jr. was suspended for 81 games for
It's a lot.
PEDs. That is like the new standard in MLB suspensions for PEDs. Your first time testing positive, boom, you're gone.
$81.
Half a whole season, also known as half a season. um, yeah, you're gone. So that's what happened. And what do you think? Because you own Tatis, or you wanted Tatis actually, right? Or both, maybe.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won. I won him.
If you or if Sora MLB was out and you had him, would you have sold him to try and invest in someone else? Would you have tried to train him for half the season? I mean, his percentage bonus would go to the moon
Yeah.
if you set it and forget it, trained him for half a season. Or do I guess that's really about it. Do you keep him
Yeah.
or do you train him and get rid of him? Because that is a whole, I mean, that's a sizable budget player. Um,
Right.
especially for someone like, say, someone had a smaller gallery and hit that first place, kind of like Nosh.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, if his Jose Ramirez got suspended for half the season, that's a
Yep.
lot of ETH, a lot of money to be sitting on.
Yep.
So what do you think? What would you have done in that point in time with your Tatis? And it's just a
Yeah.
limited, so it's not like it's a multi-$1,000 card, but
Well,
still,
sure, sure. But I mean, so the first thing is to cover off. Anytime your player has a big injury, big suspension, the price is going to go down. So if you do sell in that moment, you're probably taking a 30 to 40% haircut from what they were before the suspension or before the injury. The thing that so one kind of going to the gallery question, I think again, like if so for example, I'm rebuilding my football gallery right now, and I only have one rare goalkeeper at the moment. And if this person were to get suspended or hurt, yeah, I think I would have to probably cut my losses and
You
take
should check on my rare gallery right now
right,
with Maxime Crepeau.
right.
I haven't
So it
lost money on him,
and
but he hasn't played, and it keeps saying he's going to come back, but he keeps not coming back. I mean, broken
so
leg is tough, but
I would he's actually this is it's a perfect segue, but I want to
yes,
make
okay,
sure
yeah. Back
so
to
yeah,
okay,
so going back to the Tatis, so again, like when you're selling, you're going to take a haircut. And again, if your gallery or that's just such a really big crux of your gallery of your team, you're probably unfortunately going to have to sell in that moment. And that's maybe where if let's say for example, you had the money for 10 cards and you only spent it on 7, maybe that's that ETH that you're sitting there, maybe that saves you from having to go take a 40% loss on a card you just bought. So that is where depth can save you a little bit. But I think that the biggest thing for me that underscores it um, is actually the fact that I know how long he's going to be out for. So that to me is one of the scariest things from an injury or a suspension is when I have no clue. So Jacob, you talked before about like John Morant, like we joked about it, like, oh yeah, he's like never going to be in the NBA again. Like
yeah,
that actually that was a pretty good, like the probability was there. Like it was not zero that
Right.
the NBA was just going to say, Ja, you're out of the league for conduct violations.
Right. And who
And
knows, like it came out that nothing, I mean, illegal things happened, but nothing like super
right,
like crazy bad happened.
right.
Um was he stupid? Absolutely. But like gone from the NBA? No. But yeah, anyways, continue.
But you don't know that in that moment. So
Yeah,
again,
so
like
yeah.
you have to kind of prepare for all of the scenarios. So I think if there's a chance again that like this injury is something that they could never recover from, like Manuel Neuer's skiing accident, like
Mhm.
he's a 36-year-old, like maybe he just hangs it up after that.
Mhm.
Even if he says in the moment, like, I'm going to try to get back to football, like, there's like, you kind of have to prepare, like, that they just don't, or that they can't come back. And that, again, like, you're to kind of tie it to Crepeau, like, they have like maybe a 6 to 12 month, they have some sort of time frame, but
Mhm.
that can change.
Mhm.
It's based on a human body and their
Right.
rate of recovery. Who the hell know? Like, I'll take Tatis's 81 game suspension because I know it, over someone that's coming back from like a ACL or Achilles tear, that it's like, who knows how long it's going to take them to get back, and let alone will they get back to that form that they were in before the injury even happened. I think that's oftentimes overlooked too.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got it spot on. I mean, long story short, in the Sorare perspective, if your team needs it or if you need the liquidity, sell, take the loss. But if you don't, if you have the or if you don't want to take the loss, just keep throwing them in training and
True.
wait it out. Whether it's an injury or a suspension where you know the length of time, it really, yes, this is one of those. It depends. Where's
Yeah.
Josh? We need him. It depends on your personal scenario and if you want to or can afford to get rid of him. Me, I didn't see like for Ja with my Ja card, I took a on his limited card, maybe like a 60% loss of what I bought him for. Granted, some of that was just depreciation, like
Mm,
natural since the beginning of the season,
right.
depreciation. But I would say that it was worth it for me because of the circumstances at the time when the news came out about what happened because we didn't really know.
Right.
Now I look kind of like an idiot because it looks, I mean, we'll see. Maybe he'll do something stupid again and get suspended
Right.
forever. But if he comes back a better person, a changed person, and can put up like huge so rare scores, his price will go back up, and I'll look like the idiot. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, again, like, you're like, we're never going to talk about like the ethics of like the specific act, but there are some times where like the line is crossed. It's not like, yeah, steroids and cheating are like, that's really bad, but there are objectively, I think, some worse things that you can do as
like
a person.
felonies, yeah,
Yeah, like a like actual crimes,
yeah,
and things of that sort, where like you're Aaron Hernandez of the New England
yeah,
Patriots, you killed somebody.
probably number
Um,
one up there on the
the
list.
NFL suspension is kind of meaningless if you're going to spend life in prison.
Hmm.
Um, Same thing. Like I had a Lucas Hernandez card.
Hmm.
I think last year, and he was potentially facing some criminal charges himself. And again, like I think there's a Twitter account that's like called Sorare Jail, and
Oh
it's
no,
got like all of the players from, so like you can own like Sorare or Prison FC, and get all the jailed players. So it happens, like, like that's so, again, for me, like going back, tying it all, um I always like to know as best as I can. But sometimes for injuries, I will actually take the flip side. I'll buy a player if they're injured for a long
yeah,
time. Like I picked
yeah,
up my
it can
Miles
also be a good
Robinson.
investment strat. Yeah, oh yeah. Um, I guess suspension wise too, ethics is a good call because it's the same thing with collecting.
That's true.
is like there are people that are deemed less collectible because of ethics.
Mm.
Like for example, Deshaun Watson in football cards, his prices have gone way down. He's still playing the NFL. That's who knows what when it comes to that situation. But yeah, he's gone way down in value. And speaking of which, in
Mm.
terms of going down in value and indefinite suspensions, um, what would you do right now if you
Okay.
owned a? We're just going into it.
Oh man.
We all know we don't have to talk about the news. We'll just talk about what would you do in a Sorare perspective. If you owned a Wander Franco card right now,
I'd sell them.
because personally, I had I think like 6 or 7 of these of Wander Francos, and I immediately listed them on eBay. I was like, nope, they're gone. Don't want anything to do with that. And like that news is so disturbing, and the way the response was so quick, and a lot of just bad things coming out in the media. It just seems like the right decision to, from a
Yeah.
Sorare perspective or from like a fungibles perspective, is to sell. Um, Obviously, we hope for the victim's sake, not just
Yep.
Wander's sake, but mainly the victim's sake, that none of this is true. But from a sole strict like objective Sorare standpoint, sell. If
Yeah.
someone's out there willing to buy, you got to sell.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know. It's just there's a lot, like you said. I mean, there's a line you cross, and that line is different in everyone's mind, I guess. But I feel like as a society, there's certain lines you can cross to be like that. Now, from
Hmm.
a collection standpoint, you still might need it for your
That's
collection.
interesting. Yeah.
There are some very morbid collectors out there that collect Aaron Hernandez sports cards, and yeah, who knows, Wander Franco rookie cards. So yeah, there we have it. One games all the way up to who knows. And I'm glad that we should have started from big down to small, because we ended kind of morbidly there.
Oh, we
So
didn't wait. We missed a very important in the saga, the Emmanuel Reynoso
oh yeah.
saga.
Well, that, yeah, that's right. I mean, who knows? I thought he was gone. I would have
You
sold him
did.
too.
But
Yeah.
so again, like let me take you through it. So I bought him for about 500 US dollars when he
Yeah.
disappeared.
Rare card.
He was selling for, yeah, a rare. He was selling for $100. I was just at that point, I was just like, why? Um, and again, I think like his situation is much different than what we just talked about.
It's
But
very unique
yeah,
too. Yeah.
so yeah, it's very unique. But it's one of those things where if he never came back, I would rather just lose the 500 entirely, like then sell at 100. And then, it's like there's sometimes you cut your losses, but I don't know. Like this is definitely some psychology thing. Some like rational economics would just say, dude, you're an idiot. Take your $100 and run for the hills. But I held on. I held on because I was just like, I would rather lose the full 500 than sell for 100 and have him potentially come back. Um, and I'm glad I held on.
Yeah. You took the bet and it paid out. Yeah. I mean, if you have that like ability to take risk, then why not? If you're willing
Right.
to. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Reynoso, had to give him a shout out. Why not?
Yeah.
We need to do a couple Mount Rushmores next week. We need to do
Oh.
like our overall Mount Rushmore, our suspended Mount Rush.
Oh.
No, our injured slash desaparecido Mount Rushmore. Like Reynoso and only Reynoso would be on that one. But yeah, should we finish it off with a traditional pickle and or
I like
higher
it.
lower? I say yeah, that about concludes it here for our YouTube episode. But we always got to end our podcast here with our MLB play pickle, basically like Wordle but with baseball players, and then higher lower with baseball stats. on the MLB Play website. Oh, it's usually Nosh that does it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm pulling it
Oh
up.
no, so this is episode 51.5 here on YouTube, the YouTube special. Again, we mentioned it early on, but if you're still here with us, subscribe, comment down below your favorite MLB player ever, Sorare player currently to watch this season. Doesn't matter. Let us know in the comment section below, along with your Twitter username, to enter a giveaway for a $20 limited playoff card in MLB that we've yet to determine because we want to see who's going to make the playoffs. Maybe we'll just buy someone on the Braves. Who knows? But we want to get someone a good card to use for the next final month of the season and then hopefully into the playoffs. So you struggling there? Do you need me to
Yeah, well, here, wait. I
share
got
my
it. I got it.
screen? Oh,
No, I
he's
got
got
it.
it.
Uh, nope. Okay, we're good. Oh, what? MLB's kicked me out.
Oh no.
I
All
have
right.
to pick. I have the pickle up. But the other game.
All right. Let me give me a little share screen here. We can do it.
All right. Their website is very poorly designed. Maybe I'll have to help them with that.
All right. Share screen. We're going with this one.
And that's why I never gave Josh any crap for it, because I was like, I don't know if I can do that, honestly.
There we go. All right.
It made me try to make a profile.
So we want to do by the numbers first. I have.
Yeah, we have to start.
Let's go.
We always have
so
to
we
start.
got RBIs today. So does Joey Gallo have more or less RBIs than Mookie Betts in 2023?
Less.
Go Twins. Really rooting for the Twins from now on, but it's got to be way less than 86. All right. 10 seconds
Facts.
for let's go. 38.
Oh, wow. Way less.
Way less. Jose Ramirez, way more. Way more. 66. Love to see it. Eloy, I would say less. Eloy was hurt for a bit. 50. Let's go.
We're on it.
Lindor has enough home runs to have more. Easy. 75. He has more than
very
Ramirez. I wouldn't have said that. Bregman.
Less.
Ooh, less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 81. Okay.
Shoot.
I know. Dansby started off a little slow.
Yeah.
There's no way he has more than 80. Yeah.
Okay. I was like.
Starling Marte, I would say lower.
Yeah, less.
Because Dansby started off slow, but now he's picked it up. 28?
Wow, that's abysmal.
Carlos Correa.
He's so bad this year.
It's got to be more than 28.
Yeah, it's more.
Man.
It's got to be more.
All right. Vladdy G, more than 54. I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say he's like 67. 72.
72. Pretty close.
Garrett Cooper, got to be way less. He's a catcher. Doesn't play every day. Riley Green was hurt for a while. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, that's going to be close.
He was hurt for such a long time. I got to say less. Yeah.
Nice.
Nootbaar is also hurt, but I think he's got to have more.
Yeah, I think he played more than Riley Green.
39. Yeah, so close. Way to be. CJ Cron's been traded to the Angels. He used to play in Colorado. He's got to have more. 37. Oh, no.
Why they do us like that? Harold Ramirez. Oof. Oh, man.
This is going to be close, too. I might say less.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, there's a lot. Hey, we beat the average by 0.26, baby. Shout out YouTube. YouTube only. All right. Dang. That was tough. It started off pretty easy. And then, man, 2 in a row. Oh, well. All right. Well, Pickle, let's wordle it up here.
I'm going to nail the pickle.
And here we go. So I guess we got to start off with, oh, man.
Let's do Vladdy.
Harold Ramirez.
Or, yeah, Harold Ramirez. Then we'll go Vladdy if it's makes sense.
Righty from the AL. It could be Vladdy. Oh, no, it can't be Vladdy because it's not the AL East. Dang. I wanted it. Good. Okay, so it could be AL Central, AL. It could be Carlos Correa.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nope. Oh, so it's a shortstop
from
in
the
the
NL East.
NL East.
Lindor.
It's Trey Turner. Oh,
Oh, Trey Turner.
no, it's righty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, let's look at this
Got to be
age. So he's
29. He's
29
got to be 29.
and he's not American. So that's pretty
Oh,
huge.
okay. Oh, he's in the NL East.
Yeah.
It's not Lindor.
Let's,
Lindor is a switch hitter. It's not. Um,
we got Marlins. Soler.
no, no, he's not fielder. Are we dumb?
Okay, we got Marlins, we got the Mets, we got the Phillies, we got the Nationals. Is Harold Castro?
Castellanos.
There's Rodolfo
NL
Castro.
East. No, he's on the Pirates. He's in the Pirates.
Hmm.
We're dumb here. Let's see. Oh, okay.
Oh, Jazz. Is it Jazz? Is he shortstop?
No, he's
No, he's an outfield.
technically.
Let's
Well,
see if we
here
can
we'll
get
just
the.
yeah. Okay, it's not that.
It's
Whatever. It's
not
not
Miami.
Miami. We'll figure this out. We will.
So it's either the Nationals or the what's the other team that
Or the
yep.
Mets.
Or the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
Do we guess the Met already?
Oh, dude, we didn't. What about the Braves, man?
Oh, we forgot about the
Oh my
Braves.
God. Is it Arcia? Oh
Yep.
no. How did
Yep.
Okay, that's embarrassing. Sorry, YouTube.
We
We just
forgot about the
forgot we
Braves.
forgot about the best team.
Yeah.
Why did I think we guessed? I don't know, dude.
Could you
That's
imagine if the Brewers still had Arcia?
I
Man,
know he's an all-star this year, hitting almost 300. Dang.
everyone that leaves the
I
Brewers as well.
can't believe we forgot about the Braves. That's so funny. Well, how about that? There we are,
Good
the
one.
YouTube special. Um, man, I don't think I've ever closed off an episode before. This is crazy. But again, like and subscribe, I guess. But check us out on Spotify as well. Twitter, Bat Practice Pod. I mean, this will all be posted in the description, of course, too. Andrew's trying to swim away. He's doing a little freestyle, winning that Olympic 200-meter right there. We will be giving away a $20 card next week, 52-week special, the year-long special next week. But let us know. Again, you know what to do in the comment section below. But this has been Batting Practice Podcast. Now it's time to get in the game. Peace.